What is going on, comic fans? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm Mark, and I'm here today with a fantastic video. This coming week might be the most I've been excited for new comic books all year long, and there's good reason for that. Don't go anywhere. This is my top 10 list for October 18th.
Before we continue on, make sure you bookmark your calendar for Comics Curing Cancer happening the weekend of October 20th through the 22nd. Comics Curing Cancer is an American Cancer Society virtual event that happens on YouTube and focuses on raising money for cancer awareness. Also, don't forget to pre-order your copy of Unnatural Order #1, the Comics Curing Cancer exclusive variant at djlinks.bigcartel.com. This exclusive is limited to only 250 copies. Big shout out to the Comic Mint for donating the books, and big shout out to Matt Wilson for donating the cover art.
So let's get into it. First off, I hope you do mark your calendars. C3 is going to be huge. It'll be starting right here on this channel. The stream is already set. You can go on into my live stream tab, find this show, turn on that notification bell, and not miss out on anything. All the other shows that are in the lineup for the weekend are in the description of that very stream. So all the information you need is right there. Mad crazy event. Be sure to check out Comics Curing Cancer on Instagram as well to see tons of amazing stuff that's been donated. It's going to be an epic year. All right, so let's get into it. October 18th, technically 17th and 18th. If your shop does not hold their DC books hostage for that extra 24 hours, my shop doesn't. ABX Comics and Games here in Augusta, Georgia is where I pick up all my books. Huge shout out to them. This is my top 10 list. This isn't yours, but this is mine. So leave me a comment down below if you think that there's something that I need to get that's not on this list that you're really excited about. But clocking in at number 1 on my list, and these are in no specific order, is World's Finest issue number 20. I've been waiting for this for months since they first announced it in the solicitation. Kingdom Come is hands down by far my favorite comic story that has ever been written. We have revisited that story in comics a few times with Jeff Johns' Justice Society of America, with the Kingdom follow-up, but now we're going to be revisiting it with Mark Waid, the actual writer of Kingdom Come, in World's Finest issue number 20. We were already teased a little bit with Magog's backstory with the Boy Thunder story arc a few months back. It looks like we're diving back into that. We're merging the two worlds, and we will be revisiting Kingdom Come. I don't want to know any more than that. There's some beautiful covers for this. This is hands down the most consistently amazing monthly title on shelves right now. It's huge in scope. It's been feeding the greater continuity of the DC universe, and it stands on its own as it's set in no specific time in the past. So be sure to check this out. It's going to be amazing. Guaranteed. Next up, we have Dawn of DC's Superman number 7. So this is an oversized special edition issue. It's legacy number 850. So, you know, they always got to play gimmicks with that. So there'll be a lot of covers. There'll be a lot of extra content and probably a slightly inflated price tag. It's supposed to be a celebration issue of Superman. I wasn't necessarily looking for that right now, being that we just got introduced to the Unchained in that last issue. And I'm also not too excited that Jamal Campbell is no longer on the interior art. I don't know if that's temporary or not, but Superman has been fantastic across the board right now. DC has really leaned into the fact that they're Boy Scout, that the face, the brand, everything about DC Comics, Superman, he should be forefronting it. They're really pushing with the quality and the amount of content to get him back in the front of the map. So if you haven't been reading this, I highly suggest checking it out. They're doing really big things with it, and it pairs well with all the other super titles on the shelf. Next up, we have issue number 3 of Titans, also under the Dawn of DC banner. So it has a tease on the cover, Enter Amanda Waller. So we know that Brother Blood, or Brother Eternity as he's calling himself now, is pretending that he has turned a new leaf. It's an old school Titans villain being introduced in a new way. Like, he's not a crazy religious cult leader, but he's trying to be open and honest about his intentions to get everybody off of a dying world. It looked like that he even had Aqualad of the Titans convinced. So they went in to investigate, all to still be not being able to really call him out or bust him doing anything red-handed. We're going to be continuing on that journey of them trying to figure out what he's doing. But in the process of it, it looks like Beast Boy is catching the attention of none other than Amanda Waller. If you've been following DC Comics, you know that Amanda Waller has been building up across all titles to be the big bad going into some mega event that has not yet been properly announced, but it's been being built ever since the really since the Infinite Frontier launch a couple years ago. So I'm excited to see what's happening here. Absolutely love Amanda Waller as a villain. She's ridiculously underrated, but she's ridiculously capable of holding that top slot as the big bad in the DCU, as the Titans are currently the front running superhero team in the DCU. So this one, I'm really excited to see where it goes as well. We also have Philip Kennedy Johnson's Incredible Hulk issue number 5 dropping. Now, this has got me a little scratching my head. I feel like this title is turning into a bi-monthly title. I don't know if they're trying to rush out a few issues to get it lined up with other events that will be coming down the road or what. We also don't have Nick Klein on the interior art for the last issue, and this one, as these two have been really back-to-back with what came before. But this is the second part of a crossover with Man-Thing in Hulk dealing with a siren of the swamp that's calling people and luring them to their doom. You can see it featured on the cover there. So we're going to see how he battles it out with that creature. It feels like an episodic story and moves on to the next thing. I've been loving what Philip Kennedy Johnson is doing with this title already. Feels like classic, true, and a little bit of horror elements to the Hulk here. Highly suggest this one. Go check it out. Hulk is back. Johnny Cates tried to kill the title. Philip Kennedy Johnson saving the title. Before we go any farther, let's give a huge shout out to the homies over at Big Time Collectibles. Be sure to check them out at bigtimecollectibles.com. Follow them on social media so you don't miss out on any of the awesome stuff they got going on right now. And coming in next on the list, we're going to be going with Ghost Rider issue number 19. Benjamin Percy's been doing a knockout job with this series. We just had the annual with the Hood. It was a great issue. It was Halloween themed and everything. I'm excited to dive back into the ongoing regular scheduled programming as we should be starting off on a new story arc here. We got a little bit of Talia Warroad's backstory about how she's had these abilities, these powers, this connection to the underworld and the supernatural since she was a child. Now let's dive into an actual story with her and really just explore where they go from here as they travel the country, shutting down evil in their path. Now here it is. The book of the week, the one that everyone's been waiting for, at least I have ever since San Diego Comic-Con announcement, the massive crossover of the year. It's all led to this for me ever since that announcement. We have Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong in a mini maxi series event. This is Legendary Pictures and DC Comics coming together like butt cheeks to bring us the biggest, baddest event of the year. I cannot wait. This is the 1 in 25 Dan Mora cover that I selected to show off on this, as I don't really go through all the covers on this. We're just talking stories here, more or less, but you have to mention the covers in this case. The A cover is going to be a beautiful wraparound. There's crazy cool incentive covers. You have Alan Qua on one, Jim Lee on one, but there's going to be two separate covers that when you open them, they're like a Hallmark card where they have a roaring effect, a Godzilla one and a King Kong one. So be sure to check your retailers for the cover options on this. This series is going to be a blast. Keep in mind, this is a Godzilla Kong Justice League crossover. So this is for the fans. This is pure fan service. And it's going to be set in a time before Superman and Lois were married, and he stops to have a beautiful date night with his girlfriend, and it's supposed to be a very special night where he's proposing, only to be interrupted by Godzilla coming out of the bay. And it also teases that the Legion of Doom is in a classic battle with the Justice League, so I'm assuming they have something to do with the merging of these two universes. I cannot wait to see what the gimmick is with this that keeps Superman from flying Godzilla and throwing him into the sun. Next up, we have another one that I've been long awaited for since its announcement. They're expanding the Golden Age characters in DC Comics, giving 4 new miniseries, and we saw the Sandman was the first one with last week's amazing drops. This week, we are returning Jeremy Adams to the Flash, but not Wally West. He's going to be taking on Jay Garrick, the Flash, and this will be following in the footsteps of Stargirl, the Lost Children, as well as the Justice Society of America ongoing title, where the reintroduction of Judy Garrick to her family is a character created by Jeff Johns in this twisted story where all these Golden Age sidekicks. Quick edit for the kids there. So this is reintroduction of Judy Garrick back to the team following the events of this twisted childminder named character who was stealing all these sidekicks, children, and everything from all the Golden Age heroes. And not only that, they were forgotten to time. So this is a really cool way that they're retconning and adding a lot of additional characters to the DCU. And Judy Garrick goes by Boom, who as soon as these characters get reintroduced, all of the memories of these Golden Age characters come back to them, and it dawns on them what they've really missed out on. So I'm excited to see how Jeremy Adams, who has proven himself as a phenomenal Flash writer and a phenomenal Family Man writer, is going to bring her into this and really show the new dynamic of the Garrett household as well as the larger Flash family. Moving on, we have John Stewart War Journal, or Green Lantern John Stewart War Journal, or Green Lantern War Journal, starring John Stewart, issue number 2. This is spinning out of the backup story out of Jeremy Adams' Green Lantern proper, another Philip Kennedy Johnson title, and I chose to highlight the B cover, which is a John Jang amazingness right here. We're seeing John Stewart in a very unique place where he's a self-imposed retirement from being a Green Lantern is being challenged by this oncoming evil known as a Revenant queen. We're supposed to be getting introduced to who she actually is in this and seeing what kind of deep scars Jon Stewart has at the loss of his sister, because we see that he's trying to live a peaceful, quiet, solitude life, but he's using a construct of his dead sister to just kind of keep his life happy. So he has clearly damages, emotional problems that he's trying to process through and everything. We'll see what really happens, because that cannot be ignored. And I think that's really playing to the title of War Journal with this one. But real quick, just to throw it out there, if you need anything cleaned or pressed, my boy Justin on Instagram can hook it up. Let him know you found him via the channel. He can also submit directly to CGC or CBCS for you. The link is in the description to get a hold of Justin over on IG. Fantastic guy, does a great job. So we got 2 more left. Can you guess what 2 they are? First up, it's none other than the next installment in the Gotham War. We have Catwoman issue number 58. Now, I normally would not pick up Catwoman, but I'm keeping up with the Gotham War. I'm also doing the DC Comics deep dive on the entirety of the event over on Sector 2815's channel. So if you've been missing out on Gotham War, if you didn't pick it up and you want to know exactly what's going on down to every detail, be sure to check out Sector's channel. Every Monday at 10 a.m. he drops the weekly DC Comics deep dive. Now with this, I have no clue what's going to happen. We did end the last installment of this event with Catwoman going to try to reason with Batman. He's actively shutting down their operation. He's shutting down the Bat family. That little psycho Zura-Na personality is kind of showing through and taking control of him. So he's getting definitely rough around the edges. He did some heinous things to Jason Todd, but necessary in the moment, if you ask me. So I'm curious to see what he'll do with Catwoman, how he'll react to Catwoman trying to actually reason with him through this holy war that he's on. So be sure to check out the Gotham War if you enjoy Batman. It's actually really good, surprisingly good, despite some of the ideas behind it are just like head scratchers. Like, why would the Bat family allow Catwoman to run rampant, and subbing out one crime is okay if it slows down another crime? I don't know. Anyways, here we go. Another one that I just sit on the edge of my seat waiting for every month till it gets here. Mark Millar and Pepe Lorenz Big Game issue number 4. That last issue was a mind melter. Like, everyone on X was all up in arms. Couldn't believe Mark Millar did what he did. This is the coming together of all of Miller World. All the properties that he's created independently over the decades are here for this one massive story where Nemesis is pretty much let loose on the Miller World, where the fraternity from Wanted, that's right, the movie with Angelina Jolie back in the day, that fraternity is taking out any and everybody they deem a threat that can stop them from controlling the world. It's come down to Hit Girl traveling through time, and we're going to be going all the way back to the Empress storyline to see what she's going to do, how she's going to come back from this. Are we going to see the return of some of these heroes since they've added the Chrononauts technology into this? We haven't seen it happen in Chrononauts, so I'm trying not to get my expectations too high. RIP, you know who, but man, I have no idea where this is going to go. I cannot imagine it wrapping up in only 5 issues. Hopefully, Mark Millar has more volumes of this in store for all of us, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So that's my top 10 list. I'd be very interested to see how your top 10 list is different from mine. Also, a huge shout out to everybody who nominated the channel. It is a finalist in more than 5 categories and co-hosting on some. Go to cbcawards.org to vote for those finalists. You don't have to vote for me, but show some support to the CBC Awards. It's a fun way that Brian LCS is highlighting, spotlighting, and having some fun in the community. Also, I appreciate each and every one of you. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Consider subscribing. If you want to support the channel, check out the merch store down below. It's a great way to give back to the channel, or hit that join button. Become a member of the Legion today. Get loyalty badges next to your name, custom emojis. We're over 80 members strong. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Those slides are old. I got so many more. Man, I can't thank y'all enough. So that's going to do it for this video. Until the next one, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.